Hello again, everyone, and welcome back. This is part 2 of Spiritual Ecology, a practice of ancestral embodiment, our introduction. I wanted to refer back to Emily Conrad's wisdom, where she says, the fluid within our tissues is our primary healer. And when it is vital, it maintains its primary resonance with its source, which is the planet and the galaxy. She also goes on to say that all manifest movement begins with the movement of the breath. She's not just talking about the movement of the body. She's talking about the movement of the spheres, the movement of creation, of universal source. So when we are breathing through these practices, we're really bringing ourselves back into those cycles of aliveness, bringing ourselves back into a spiritual ecology that our ancestral practices all evolved out of. And so we, coming back into that same place, can come back also into integrity with those practices. That said, I should also mention these are beautiful practices to do anywhere. You can do them inside, you can do them outside in nature even better, and use what's around you for support. The first practice is tending to the vagus nerve. From a seated position, this can be on a chair, on the earth, on the floor, on a stump of a tree, a fallen tree, on a stone. It can be anywhere. Find a comfortable place for yourself to rest and find a natural spine, and then close your eyes. Relax your brow and your jaw. We're going to be doing a lateral stretch for the eyes to release tension and to help bring ourselves into regulation with the vagus nerve. Taking a deep breath in with the eyes at center. On an exhale, you're going to look your eyes as far left as they can look. So the left eye is looking to the far left corner. The right eye is looking to the far inner right corner of the eye. And we're looking, both eyes as far left laterally as we can. And we're holding here for 30 seconds and we breathe. Sometimes the breath goes offline, and that's a great indication of where we're holding our attention. Relax your belly and let your breath be relaxed coming in into the low back. Drop your shoulders. Last 10 seconds or so. Good. On an inhale, let the eyes come back to center. On an exhale, let the eyes look as far right as they can look, stretching out those eye muscles. The right eye is looking to the far outer right corner of the eye. Left eye is looking to the inner left corner of the eye. Look to the right, 30 seconds here. Remember to come back to the breath. Letting go of any tension that might come with the focusing of looking. We're here for 30 seconds. And final 10 seconds. Inhale, the eyes come back to center. Exhale, maintain the eyes at center. Eyes are closed. Just letting yourself settle here, because it can be disorienting to suddenly have so much freedom in the eye muscles. Let them settle for a moment. A couple more breaths. Slowly opening your eyes. Next, we come up into our spinal rolls. Again, inside, outside, doesn't matter where you are. We can do this wherever we find ourselves. So come along with me. From a standing position, we're going to take the legs a little wider than hip width distance. So a little wider than hip width. Soft knees, no locked joints, keeping everything nice and soft. Spinal rolls are easy and accessible for everyone to do. Go to your level with your forward bend and your back bend. The inhale is actually extending the spine. The hands rest just behind the ears. We do not yank the head. We rest the hands gently, fingertips gently behind the ears. On an inhale, feel like you're lifting the heart up towards the sky. Let your head look up towards the heavens here. The elbows wing out. That's your inhale. Your exhale is to bring the elbows towards each other, tipping the chin under, and slowly rolling your spine down into a fetal position, bending more deeply into the knees, coming down, very end of your exhale. And then inhale, we roll back up, elbows come apart, wing out, lift the heart. Exhale, we round it out. Do this at your own pace. We're going to be doing 10 spinal rolls. Make this next one your last. Releasing the hands and arms, slowly rolling like a fern up into standing. And our next practice is the psoas muscle release. This is a swing action we do with the leg. You'll need to elevate the opposite foot and leg. You can do this on again, a stump or a tree, a fallen tree, a rock, stone outside. You can do this inside with a book, with a yoga block, if you have something like that. Or you could even stand on the hearth of your fireplace. You could get really creative here, do whatever you need, just to have enough of an elevation here so that our opposite leg can swing nice and heavy. It's the weight of the leg that slowly draws the psoas muscle out. So with the block on the ground here, you may want a little bit of support for this side, and usually I use the wall or a shelf. Coming up, let's do the right psoas muscle first. You're going to step your left foot onto something elevated, and you're going to level the hips off. Support yourself however you need to. Hips are level here. This is not a great big swing. It is a very subtle swing. So make sure you've got a nice, soft, loose walking arm here, and let it swing however it feels natural. So notice that I'm not doing anything very pretty. I'm not trying to make this tidy and neat. Should be pretty sloppy. Heavy leg helps to draw out this muscle on the right side, the right psoas. Let yourself swing here, heavy, heavy leg. Notice there's a natural coming forward with the pubic bone and then back with the tailbone as we swing here. And we're breathing deeply. We're here for 30 seconds. Let's give it another 10. Very slowly step off of whatever you're elevated on. Come back to center, and we'll do the other side. Right foot is elevated, right hand can rest somewhere to support you, and we swing to left. Let go of any holding in the seat muscles or the pelvic floor. It's the standing leg doing the supporting. There's our 30 seconds. Slowly stepping off. Next, we come into circling and massaging, starting with the joints. We start with the very base of the body, the feet. From a standing position, let's do the right side again first. You're going to bring the toes back behind you, landing on the right balls of the toes. And you're not very far, it's just a small pace. We're going to circle onto the top sides of the toes and then onto the balls of the toes. So think of circling the heel around. We're juicing up the toe and ankle joints. Good, reverse your direction. Right foot on the ground, let's do the left side. So this is our myofascial release. Joints are absolutely interconnected with the fascia that covers the whole entire sheath of the body. Reverse your circles. Don't forget your breathing here. Let that movement settle. Inner feet side by side, inner knees side by side, hands over the knee joints, fingers to the outsides of the knees, thumbs to the insides of the knees to support them. You're going to circle the knees, coming a little lower as they come forward. Notice how this circles the head of the femur and the ball and socket joints. So not only are we circling and juicing up the knee joints, but the hip joints too. Reverse your circles. Slowly coming up and taking a slightly wider than hip width distance stance, hands on the hips. We'll fully circle the hips now. Soft knees the whole time. Bring some deep breaths way down into the low back. Reverse your circles. Come to stillness. We do the shoulders, elbows, wrists, fingers next, in one big sweeping movement. Let this be very non-linear. Reverse your circles. Finding stillness. Next is head circling. We do this very delicately. If you have any cervical spine injuries, you're going to bypass this. Otherwise, we keep the spine safe with teeth together. So teeth together, dropping the chin towards the notch in the collarbone. On an exhale, slowly circle the chin over to the right shoulder. Up towards the sky. Slowly over to the left shoulder. And back to center. Big breath in. Exhale, chin to the left shoulder. Sky. Right shoulder. Center. Head comes up. Next, I need to step away from things a little bit here. Next, of course, we can't forget the joints of the spine. To do this, we look straight ahead and we let the upper body swing freely here. The arms are needed for this and they cannot be rigid. Very soft and noodly. So go ahead, soft knees, let the hips move as they would naturally do. Breathe deeply and enjoy the softness. Again, finding some space and movement that might not be your normal way of moving in the world. Getting all these spinal joints moving. All right, coming to stillness. Next is a massage and tap. When we tap, we have 5 fingers together, like a crane bill. And when we massage, flat hands. Oftentimes we do fists with the flat sides of the fists inside of the fists here. We'll alternate. Starting with the right arm, we're going to tap. Actually, no, we're going to sweep. We're going to massage down the inside of the right arm 3 times. We're going to tap up the outside of the arm 3 times. Reach the outer neck. Left side. Next are the legs, sweeping down the insides of the legs 3 times. Good. Tapping up the outsides of the legs 3 times to the outer hips. Good. Hands massage down the kidneys 3 times. Good. Hands cross in front of the hips, cross over the belly, up the sides of the chest and waist, cross underneath the collarbones, and out 3 times. Good. And final 3 times, right down the midline of the body. Let the breath be natural and soft. Breathe is right here, hand over hand. Good. We finish with the humming breath. So we come back into stillness and a seated position. Again, that can be anywhere. Just ensuring that your spine finds a neutral place. You're not feeling too far back on the tailbone or too far forward or stressed through the spine in any way. We finish with humming breaths. Humming breaths help to regulate the nervous system. So we create this deep vibrational energy that softens up the cartilage between the ribs. It's very nourishing for the heart, very reassuring for the nervous system. That's why we bounce our babies and we hum and we hush. And it's just in us to do. And you can sit however it's comfortable to do this. On an inhale, we do nothing. We're just drawing breath deep down into the low back area. And on the exhale, with mouth lightly closed, we simply hum. You may play around with where your resting, I always call it your resting voice is. Shouldn't be too high, shouldn't be too stressfully low. Find a nice mid-range that's comfortable for you. And don't worry about it being pretty. It's not supposed to be pretty at all. It's supposed to be just that deep resonance that we hold of creation in our own bodies. So 5 of these breaths. Deep breath in. And exhale. Taking a moment for quiet observation, feeling how these 5 practices have gone through the layers of the body, reestablishing a sense of origin, a sense of ancestral embodiment, resonance with place. This is a daily practice to be done whenever you can, for as long as you can. You can shorten and lengthen any of these parts and enjoy coming back into your authentic sense of belonging in place. This is it for part 2. I will see you over in part 3. Thank you for joining me.